ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. 2 years ago when I moved to Los Angeles, I was so deeply overwhelmed by all of the doctors that I had to find. A dermatologist, a general practitioner, a gastroenterologist for all my IBS people out there like me. And ZocDoc made it so easy. The second I would book an appointment with my general practitioner, it would be like, hey, Kendahl, you should make a dentist appointment. I was like, wow, ZocDoc, I have not made a dentist appointment in 4 years. So that's incredible. I'll do that. Go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC. ZocDoc.com/BCC.
Welcome to The Chain.
Hello, I'm Kendahl Landreth, and I'm here with the incredible
Sarah Shower, and we are the co-hosts of the BCC Club,
where each week we go down a rabbit hole of some weird, scary part of the internet, and at the end of the episode, we have a guest on.
That we do, and she is a piece of work.
We chatted with her a little bit before the show, and honestly, we had to ask her to step out because she was honestly too annoying.
Unbearable.
Truly unbearable. So she'll be here at the end of the episode, and lucky you, Sarah, get to chat with her.
Oh, hell yeah. So if you guys can pick up on it, the episode is about pick-me girls.
Woo!
Yeah, which I know has been around before the dawn of time, probably. But we're going to talk about it specifically on the internet and what it entails and who they are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Before we get into that, how was your week, Sarah?
It was good. We both went on, what show was it?
Dirty Laundry.
Dirty Laundry. And me and Dylan Adler and I won. Well, we tied. And it was kind of funny because they gave like free merch away that was like a
bar kit.
A bar kit. And both Dylan and I are sober. And it was just kind of funny. But I made mocktails with the bar kit the other day.
Good.
Yeah, it was really good.
The mocktail? I had the mocktail because I had like 3 drinks and then I had the mocktail. And it was really good.
I was so jealous of you. Every time I looked over, you just seemed like you were having a blast. And I was like, can I not get a buzz from a mocktail, like even a little bit?
I was having too much fun. I was telling Michael, who's also on the show with us, because he was sitting next to me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, something I do that is deeply annoying and I wish I didn't do and I've tried to stop doing, but whenever I get intoxicated at all, whoever is next to me, I like hit constantly. Like I like laugh, I like hit them.
Yeah.
I, like, not hard, but I like shove them or I like put my hand on their shoulder. And I kept realizing I was just like hitting Michael because it's a comedy show, so I was laughing so much. And I kept being like, I'm so sorry. You have like a bruise on your arm. And I look like the drunkest woman alive. But it was so fun. I was having a good time.
Yeah.
But I think it made sense that you and Dylan won and me and Michael lost because we were pretty intoxicated.
Well, I mean, like, I also just feel like, I mean, I guess that clarity of mind. But
I felt like you were going to win because I feel like you are so good at like reading people.
Lying.
You're so good at lying. But then you're also good at like you like look at the facts and then I feel like I was making all my guesses based on vibes. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, my gut is telling me this. And you're like, well, I know this information.
Yeah.
So here's my guess.
Well, I was like, the way I categorized it is that like how the show went is that we all tell secrets about ourselves, like anonymously, and then we try to guess whose secret it is. Dylan seemed hypersexual, so the stories were probably hypersexual.
Yeah.
Mine were like, thankfully they edited them, but they were so specific. I was like, Kendall's gonna get this right away.
Totally.
Yeah, and then Michael seemed a little bit more like everyday, sort of like I tripped embarrassing stories.
Yeah.
And then yours were like definitely someone who is neurodivergent, and I mean that in an endearing way, but it was very endearing because you were so cheerfully drunk that like it was just like, oh well.
I didn't get it. Oh man, it is afterward. Do you know when you used to drink, would you like go into a bathroom
and vomit?
No. Like you have this moment where you're like at a bar, you're out to dinner, and you like don't really feel drunk, but then you like go into the bathroom and you like look at yourself in the mirror.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, I'm drunk.
Usually I would know that like I am wasted if I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, I'm so hot.
Yeah. There's a video I have somewhere. It might be in my drafts on my TikTok. What was that? There was a TikTok song that went around, or the song that was like, I am woman, I am fearless. And there's some TikTok clip of me in a bathroom of like a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
And I've set my phone up like in the bathroom at the sink, and I'm dancing and lip syncing to that song.
Yeah.
And I like didn't even remember recording it, and then the next day saw it and was like, I need to be stopped. This is
you should have posted it.
Thank God I didn't post it, because I think in the moment I was like, I should post this, and this is just gonna like be one of those things that goes viral. Like this is going to pop off.
Yeah.
And then I didn't post it because I forgot. So yeah, that's what but that was so fun. I was so happy you were there. But that was so fun.
How was your week?
My week was good. Honestly, I am usually a really good worker. I'm usually really focused. I'm really, self-motivating. But I got this Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. It's just thrown a wrench in everything.
It's ruined my life.
Yeah.
Like, it actually has made me be like, this is going to like end my career.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid. I got Animal Crossing, which is like a game, I looked it up, was originally made for children.
Yeah.
It's not for adults. Yeah. And I am obsessed with it. I like live on a tiny, have you played Animal Crossing?
No, but I have seen clips.
Yeah, you just like, you live on your little island and you're supposed to like build your island from the ground up. And I am truly obsessed with it. And I half know how to play it. I just pretty much fish all day and then like sell my fish, and I make like 10 cents. It's like not helpful. I like can't buy any of the cool stuff that they offer in the game store, but I'm just obsessed with it. And I haven't done like any work. I'm staying up to like 3 a.m. playing it. It's not good.
No, yeah, I get that. Like when I had a Game Boy, I would play like Pokemon like Sapphire and stuff like that. And I never got any of my Pokemon past like level 20 because I hated when they got beat up. I get super nervous and like hand off the Game Boy to my brother.
Yeah.
And he would like fight everyone for me. And I was like, I would hate when I had to like walk through grass because that's when like Pokemon pop up. I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
I just wanted them to have good health.
Oh, man, that's right. My mom is really into games like that. And she's like really good at them. Like when I think I've told you this, but when I got my Facebook, it was because my mom had a Farmville when I was like 8. And she wanted me to like send her wood and stuff on Farmville. And her farm was like one of the best farms I've ever seen. It was massive.
Yeah.
It looked like the farms they show you when like the page is loading.
Yeah.
And this is like, here's a farm a computer made that's like incredible. That's what my mom's farms looked like. And then I got her into this bakery game, and it was the same thing. She had like this massive bakery that was, she had like billions of bakery dough, cash, whatever they have on that game. And I'm like, if I got her into Animal Crossing, she would be obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I think it would ruin her life just the same as it's done to me. So that's what I've been doing. And that's not the only thing that's ruined my life.
What has ruined your life?
I've had a couple pygmy girls ruin my life.
Really?
Yeah. Today's episode's about pygmy girls.
Pretty basic transition, but that'll do, donkey.
Oh, man, I hate a pick-me girl. And I don't hate any girl.
Yeah.
But pick-me girls are quite annoying.
They are. I had this joke on TikTok about pick-me girls are actually, like, very powerful allies. Because, like, as a lesbian, like, I don't want men to, like, pay attention to me. And so, like, I was like, if there's ever a pick-me girl, like, and she starts to resent me or, like, be passive-aggressive, I want her to come up to me and be like, because we both have the same goal at the end of the day. I want these men to only pay attention to you.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever it takes for you to, like, just, talk about how I wear too much makeup or, like, you woke up like that, please do it. Because if they only focus on you, that is just, I've achieved what I've come here for,
Totally. So you don't like any male attention?
I do. I think it's just, like, I love gay male attention because they're gay. And there's no threat there. There is, but I rarely fist fight gay men anymore.
I like attention in general. So I think I think there's been a couple. I've never dated a man. Like I've never been with a man or had any of that. So I think there's been like you know how I feel about Channing Tatum.
I know that you like what's it?
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. But
I have a really big crush on Channing Tatum. So every so often, like every couple years, there's a man that will come into my life, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then I think I want to be like, I'm a girl. I do girl things.
Yeah.
Like, because I've never done that before because I've always been a lesbian. I've always been in relationships where it's very equal and healthy, and we're both like, have similar roles in the relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So ever so often, I'm like, the thought of me marrying Channing Tatum, and I have like 3 kids, and I stay at home with the kids, and I'm like, I don't know how to read. Like, that sounds kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that just sounds like you'd like to take a break for like a second.
Please.
I think that's like a lot of people, how they have a hard time figuring out if they're a lesbian or not, because it's like hard to distinguish if you like male attention versus if you like men, because they are 2 separate things.
Totally.
I do love attention in all forms, but like once a man is like, it's beyond attention, he's attracted to me, I'm like, ugh, God.
See, I don't like male. I think this is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't like male attention, but my girlfriend and I do have this theory that there are certain men that are for lesbians that like straight women don't find attractive, but lesbians are like obsessed with. I think Channing Tatum is a great example. Obviously, everybody thinks he's hot, but like I know a lot of my straight girlfriends are like, I'm not like, ooh, Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
But all the lesbians I know are like, oh, Channing Tatum's incredible. Where I'm like, I would date Channing Tatum, or like who's another good, like maybe Pedro Pascal,
Maybe.
or maybe Paul Rudd. I know the theory has holes in it. Okay, it's not fully finalized yet.
Yeah.
But there's just some men that are for lesbians, and those men, I think I want attention from those men.
I think it might be just the fact that you get this vibe that they could respect women that they're not attracted to. Yes. You know, you're like, it's like, that if I met them, I feel like they would be somewhat cordial to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be what it is, just basic respect that I can sense.
I feel like he gives basic respect.
Without the assumption of having sex with me. Because I think there are, as a lesbian, and as someone who's like always been out as a lesbian, there are men who I don't even think they realize they just like won't even really look at me in the eyes. Like they don't care at all what I'm saying, because I think they're like wired to be like, well, if we're not gonna have sex, what is the point of looking at you or talking to you?
I mean, that's that thing online where it's like a lot of men mistake niceness for flirting because they wouldn't be nice to someone they weren't attracted to. And I was like, yeah, damn. I hate men. I don't hate, I mean, whatever. A lot of my straight male friends are neurodivergent because they give less of a shit about like what men should be doing.
Yeah.
You know, like that sort of thing. And so they're like, oh, girls can be friends. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. And then I think in this industry, there's an even different type of pick-me girl, because it's like, I think especially being a female comedian.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I would almost say like the boss level pick-me girl is like, there's certain female comedians or like certain people who like, certain women who are actors or directors or whatever, where they've realized like, oh, well, there's only allowed to be one girl here.
Yeah.
So like for me to do well, I have to like eliminate all of these women, and I also have to be liked by these men. And I would like, especially when I did improv a lot in New York, I felt like there were multiple women who I was like, they're so funny. And then I would like see them slowly like change their entire humor. And they used to be they're still smart, but they used to do such smart humor and were very emotional on stage and like all this stuff. And then I'd see them like a year later doing a set on an all-male team, and they would be like, I need to masturbate right now. And like everyone was like dying laughing. And I would be like, this sucks. Like, this is so sad that this is what has come of this. And they would never reach out to me for a show. They would never reach out to other women for a show. And it's just always hard to see. But I also, I think the tough part about pick me girls is like, she's really the victim in that scenario as well. Where it's like, it's not really, there's truth to that scenario where there's a lot of spaces where there can only be one woman, which is wrong.
Yeah.
And then, it puts all the minorities up against one another, which is terrible.
Yeah, I hate the comedy pick me girl is like, so a lot of women are very drawn to like men who are like funny naturally, but like especially the ones with more dark humor. And so like the guys with more dark humor 99.9% of the fucking time are actually misogynistic. And so like now when they start to appeal to them because they want to be chosen by these guys, their humor evolves from like something that was originally witty to like just so like almost it's just thinly veiled misogyny. And I've seen it happen to like so many funny women who like they only respect the guys in comedy, and then they just, oh my God, it's like the saddest thing ever. But then if you give them a couple years, they'll come around once they've unpacked the misogyny. But no, I mean, I've seen it happen like so many times.
Totally. I mean, 100%. And I've always tried my best to never fall into that. But like, I would be lying if I said there's not moments that I think I've fallen into a comedy pick-me girl in like specific seconds. Not like in general I ever became a pick-me girl. But there's moments where you get invited to be on an all-male team and you're like, okay, like I did it. Like I did good comedy job.
I did good enough to be on the boys team.
Even though those teams would always be like the fucking worst. Like I remember I was on this improv team that was all guys, and it honestly, I even say this publicly because like individually some of these guys I really liked. Like I thought were really funny, but when they get together, it's like they have no ability to not talk over every woman, take over every scene. And it's hard because I think especially in the improv world, you get to a certain level when you're pretty high up, you know, you've gone through all the classes and you've been on teams and you're auditioning for house teams, where it's like all the women are the most funny women you've ever seen in your entire life. And then there's, of course, very funny men as well. But then there's a huge group of men that you're like, how are you here? Like, how did you get here? Like, what is happening? But they're somehow, it's an achievement to be on a team with them, even though in your brain you're like, I know I'm funnier than them. But just to be in their presence, which, what does that mean? It just means that, to be in the presence of a man, I guess. But it's just crazy the way the brain is wired with that stuff because of how we've been conditioned. But I think in comedy, it is just like so deeply ingrained in the entire world. It's just in the comedy world, you can't not have misogyny involved.
Oh yeah,
unfortunately, sometimes
it's a pain in the ass. Like I've only done stand up literally like 11 shows now. But I've been to a couple shows where it's so abundantly clear that the girl there does not want me there. And it's only when I say lesbian, because I have this whole shtick where I only wear Juicy Couture tracksuits. Like a notoriously straight sort of appearance. And then when I say lesbian, it's almost like she relaxes.
She's like, oh, you're a guy. Thank God.
There was literally a girl. Oh my God. I can't say what. She said something that like did something and she said like a joke about what I was doing and I corrected her. I can't. It's too specific. And then like she got like on edge and then we were all talking in a circle and as soon as I said I was a lesbian, her stress just melted away. And it was so like I was like you needed that. Yeah.
Today's episode is about pick-me girls, and if you are submissive to men, that is an illness, and you need to go to the doctor and say, hey, doc, help me get my head out of my ass. But finding a doctor is really hard. I have lupus. I know I talk about it all the time. I'm obsessed with talking about I have lupus, but it does affect my day-to-day life. And when I was getting diagnosed with it, it was so unbelievably hard to find a doctor. And when I would find one, they would be weird and make me uncomfortable. And I would be like, I'm a lesbian. And they'd be like, oh no, I don't know how to talk to you. But on ZocDoc, you find quality doctors who focus on you, listen to you, and prioritize your care. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. I am so done playing doctor's roulette and scouring the internet for questionable reviews. With ZocDoc, you have a trusted guide to connect you to your favorite doctor you just haven't met yet. Millions of people use ZocDoc's free app to find and book a doctor in their neighborhood who is patient-reviewed and fits their need and schedule just right. 2 years ago, when I moved to Los Angeles, I was so deeply overwhelmed by all of the doctors that I had to find. A dermatologist, a general practitioner, a gastroenterologist for all my IBS people out there like me. And ZocDoc made it so easy. The second I would book an appointment with my general practitioner, it would be like, hey, Kendahl, you should make a dentist appointment. I was like, wow, ZocDoc, I have not made a dentist appointment in 4 years. So that's incredible. I'll do that. Go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC. ZocDoc.com/BCC.
But let's get into pick-me girls. It's sometimes referred to as not like other girls. And yeah, they can be used interchangeably. They're close to the same concept, but pick-me girl is a newer label. And so what is a pick-me girl? According to Urban Dictionary, the real dictionary, a pick-me girl is a girl who seeks male validation by indirectly or directly insinuating that she is not like other girls. Basically, a female version of a simp. Characteristics of a pick-me girl: lets men walk all over her because of her carefree demeanor, only hangs out with men because they're unproblematic, exerts qualities/characteristics of her male counterparts that were not initially present to be more likable and relatable to them. And so a girl who happens to enjoy classically, quote, masculine interests but is accepting of other ways of being isn't a pick-me girl.
Totally.
Yeah, I have, there were some people growing up, like these girls that always hung out with guys, and I could not, this is not me being a dick, I could not for the life of me understand why guys were so drawn to them.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to them myself, I was like, oh, they have no personality. And then when I saw them in front of guys, they changed to every single guy they met. And I was like, that is, so like you're just reflecting back to them what they are.
Totally.
Yeah, and they just walk all over you, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I think when I have had friends who, and I have friends who are guys, but there are certain people that it's like they only have guy friends. It's a girl who just like only guy friend. And I think, when I've ever seen them together, I'm like, they've talked over every single thing you've said.
Yeah.
They have not valued a single statement you've said.
Yeah.
They have only mansplained 50 different things to you. How are you enjoying this? Like, this is insane.
There are also pick-me boys. In men, a pick-me behavior typically inverts the trend of seeking male validation. These men do everything they can to impress women, but usually with ill intent. It's those like paint your nails, ooh, soft boys who are like super feminist, but as soon as you know a little bit about anything, they're like, are you sure? Should I Google this in front of you?
This is my biggest pet peeve, which is great, like above anything else. And usually these people are like liberal, are like voting for the same things I'm voting for.
Yeah.
And I still am like, I wish you were just a sexist, honestly. Yeah. I wish you were just openly an asshole, because I've met so many men this exact same thing. They paint their nails and they talk about being a socialist and like all of this stuff. And then they just, like never let you speak. Don't give a shit what you're talking about. When like, anytime they're doing a show in comedy or whatever, the whole cast is just white men. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, what is this show you're doing for everyone? It's so annoying.
Yeah, I get that. Like there was like this women's History Month, but at the last place I worked, there was a Women's History Month thing, and they had like this like diversity, like inclusion, like council, and it was this man joins, and he's like, I feel like ever since I got married and had a baby, like a daughter, like I really understood like what women are going through. And in the meeting, I was like, this was when I didn't realize I shouldn't say stuff like this. I was like, what about every other woman you've met before you got married and had a baby?
Yeah.
Like the fact that you could only see women as people once some were an extension of you.
Yeah.
Then that's when you could, like, it's like, it is frustrating when someone claims to be like a feminist. And then I don't know if this is annoying. This is a separate thing. Can you ever just tell a man is a piece of shit?
Yeah.
And everyone seems to like him. Like, and I feel like, but I'll see like these celebrities that like go through these like 3-month phases of like everyone's obsessed with him. He's cute. Yeah. He seems like a soft boy. I'm like, I don't know if it's the ADHD and the pattern recognition, but I can tell you that there's something off about this guy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Totally. But I think like the standards are so low, like famously for men, that sometimes women are just trying to like, it truly is like, well, he seems nice and normal and he seems like he wouldn't yell at me, I guess is the standard. And so I think sometimes there are, like when I've talked to my straight girlfriends, they're like, well, I'm dating this guy for 4 months and like, I don't know, we don't really have anything to talk about, and I'm not attracted to him, but he's nice, and sometimes you just gotta like, I just need someone to marry so I can get that tax write-off,
Yeah.
you know? And they're like, I'm 30, I got to figure it out. And I'm like, man, that is rough.
That is bleak.
Is there any like male celebrities that you're like, every woman seems to be actually obsessed with, and you're just like, I'm not into this person? Don't say Channing Tatum.
No, it's like all the soft boys that, I mean, I can't.
Timothy Chalamet. Shall I not say?
Yeah, I can't I just can't get into it. Like I like the only no, I don't like any. I'm sorry.
I don't like any. You said my answer is none of them.
Like a man has to be properly vetted and be in the industry for at least 20 years, and I need to see his history and like what he's gone through for me to be like, yeah, like the guy who did the Hunger Games, and he was
Liam Hemsworth?
No, he was in the Capitol, and he was like the announcer.
I love him, but I don't know anything about him. But
Yeah.
he's funny. He's an Easy A too.
Yes, yeah. That dad. It's gonna be embarrassing. I don't know his name, but he's been vetted, and I like him.
Yeah.
You need to let a man be vetted before you can vouch for him.
Totally. Yes.
Pick-me boys are modern-day fake feminist nice guys who typically love bomb women, pretend to have the same interests, only to emotionally manipulate them later on. They'll put themselves down intentionally to seek validation from women, fishing for compliments by comparing themselves to other men. That could also be called a covert narcissist. And so how you can tell if someone is a narcissist is just wait 2 months. Love
That is so real.
Love bombing
So
can
true.
only be maintained for maximum 3 months. And so if you're waiting to invest in a man and he's for some reason you're suspicious, wait 2 to 3 months and that's when it'll flip.
Have you ever had moments where you're like so psycho? Because I'm like in therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty like my therapist is like, you do your homework in a way that none of my other clients do. Like, I'm obsessed with therapy. Mm-hmm. And have you ever like overanalyzed yourself and like convinced yourself that you're something that you're not? For example, like with the love bombing thing, it's like, yeah, it can only go on for 2 months.
Yeah.
But I feel like in general, I've been with my girlfriend 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And I would consider I'm like obsessed with that. You know, I'm obsessed with my girlfriend. I do stuff all the time for them, vice versa, but I'm always like getting them things and doing things for them.
Yeah.
And I've like overanalyzed things so hard where I've been like, am I love bombing my girlfriend?
Yeah.
But it's like 2.5 years in. And I'm like, am I a narcissist? Do you know what I mean? Like analyze therapy so hard that you're like, I am a sociopath.
That would be an incredible long game if you were still love bombing 2 years in.
But I'm like scared of myself.
Yeah.
It's like insane. It's like, obviously that's not, I am like, it's just, oh no, but I think it's hard with therapy. Sometimes people like will label things that it's like, well, love bombing is different from just being like obsessed with your partner for a long-term amount of time and being like really nice.
Yeah. I have that same thing. I used to think maybe I was like a sociopath 'cause I feel almost nothing. Like due to
That's not true.
No, I mean I have cognitive empathy and I can feel rage, but like due to my upbringing, like just my nerves are fried, and so like most empathy I process in my head, like, and so this sounds horrible. Like, so empathy, I don't feel a lot of things that people feel. Mm-hmm. And then also, like, I was talking to my therapist and she's like, that's most likely autism. And I was like, yeah. Like, cause I mean, like, I
feel like you do feel
I
things.
do feel things like deeply, but I mean, like, but it's also like a learning curve. This is going to sound weird. The internet truly did raise me. My parents set me up to be like a complete narcissist. Like I wish I could say more about this, but my parents set all the kids up to be like absolutely out of their mind. And when I got on the internet, it's almost like the internet taught me basic like empathy skills and like beat that into me because they could hold me accountable. Yeah. Because like they held expectations for me. If I misspoke, they corrected me. And so like they truly did teach me like a lot of life lessons. Like I remember growing up, I could never ask for help. Like, I mean, like I'm not like in my heart, I was like, oh, I don't want to be a burden. Like, I mean, like I could not ask for help. Yeah. And so I remember one time I had like this mental breakdown when I visited LA like 7 years ago, and I was like I got to get out of this situation I'm in, and so like I tweeted like, if you guys give me like 3 cents. I could get like a cheap hotel for the night if enough people do it. And everyone sent me enough money that I could go to a nice hotel for 3 nights. And I remember I literally had this day-long breakdown in the hotel room because I was crying, realizing that I could ask for help and that people wanted to help me. And that was like the first time in my life where I was like, people care.
Totally.
And this is when I was like 24 years old. And so it was, that's not 7 years ago. It was like 4. And so the internet truly did raise me. But yeah, I was like, there's something deeply disturbed about me. And then I was like, no,
Totally.
I'm just neurodivergent and
also had because
traumatic child.
Yeah, because there's also I know I've heard of people who've had to work through like narcissistic tendencies where they're like, I'm not a narcissist, but I was everything I knew growing up, both my parents were narcissists. So like, or one of my parents that I spent most of my time with was a narcissist. So the way I learned to live my life, I do actions that are that of a narcissist. So then people can they'll label me a narcissist, which is like, I'm not, but that's how I learned to like deal with problems. Like the only response I ever heard to like, anytime I ever said how I felt, the response I got was that from a narcissist. So when someone tells me how they feel, that's what I've done.
Yeah.
And they have to like work through it, which must be so insane. So do you feel like you ever struggled with that?
Yeah, but then I was like, the 3 things, if I don't want to be anything like my mother, the 3 things I need to remember is I am not a victim.
Yeah.
It is not bad guy versus good guy, because like if you see the world in black and white like that, where like if you're the victim means you're the good person in the situation. So like say you do hurt someone and if they're telling you that you hurt them, that conflicts with you believing you're a good person. Oh, that means I'm a bad person, so you reject it.
Yeah.
And so the second thing is you don't hold yourself accountable. So I've made sure to work on in therapy. I am not a victim. Bad stuff has happened to me, but I am not owed anything.
Yeah.
And then also being sure to take accountability and be like, not, if someone is telling me I did something wrong, I'm not going to be like, listen, I was tired. Like it doesn't matter. Like that's, and also AA helps out with that. Coincidentally, if you're a narcissist, it is recommended you go to AA because that's the only actual helpful therapy for your what's happening. Okay, and so then the third thing is to not avoid shame. So my household, since it was super Christian, there's a lot of like shame, and my parents are also perfectionists. They're incredibly smart. And so people who are shame avoidant, victim complex, cannot take accountability is the perfect concoction for a narcissist. So like with the alcoholism, I'm deeply ashamed of that. And I tell people that and I accept that because if I run from it, I become like my parents were mean to me and I can just numb and this makes sense. And it is okay to numb for a bit, but like I've got to hold myself accountable if I hurt people. Stop letting shame rule my life.
Totally.
And I am not a victim.
Well, I think too, religion, I think especially like Christianity and the way that it is such a like haven for narcissists.
Yeah.
And I even remember my dad talking to me so much about it because he grew up in that. And it's like the shame is so insane, but it has nothing to do with like God or anything they supposedly believe in. It's all like for the church. Like he knew people who would have like affairs and they would like pretend to stay together because they didn't want the church to find out. They would do just like horrible things. Yeah. And it was just about the church finding out, which it's like, what is this crazy world you guys have created? Because if what you're doing kind of proves that you don't even really care about God. You just care about like what people think of you and what the church thinks of you. And it's given you this ability. You've been raised having this ability to like say stuff that you don't even do in your real life or say stuff that you don't even believe and like shame other people for things that you do behind closed doors.
Yes.
And it's like so normalized.
Yeah, it's like I've said this before, like a lot of people, religion is great for a lot of people. If your faith improves your life and you feel like it truly leads you down a better path, then that's great. A lot of people specifically use Christianity because you don't actually have to face yourself. You don't have to do the hard work of going to therapy. What you do every Sunday is you don't hold yourself accountable. Yeah. You could just say, I'm sorry, God, in the privacy of your own mind, and God forgives, so that it's all dealt with.
Well, I remember, okay, this might be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'd heard that it's like they have priests in hospitals.
Yes.
Priests?
Yes.
Yes. And when you're dying, you could come from any walk of life, no matter what you've done. If the second you die, you like have a priest come and are like, I am sorry for all my sins, it all goes away.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
So why does anything matter? Why is it, what, you know what I mean? It's like, that is just like it's exactly what you said. It's just like created a culture of people who like accountability means nothing. Like the word accountability actually doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Because just saying sorry to me is not accountability. Because saying I'm sorry that I've sinned and you're like not even half paying attention is not accountability.
Yeah.
And you can do anything and
Yeah, because you're not apologizing to the person you hurt. You're apologizing to God. And it's like God is forgiving you. And so that person you hurt, it's just there's no accountability taken with them. This is a whole long-ass conversation.
But they're all pick-me girls.
Yeah, they're
and
all...
God is a pick-me girl.
Yeah.
Honestly, God's the ultimate. The women are pick-me girls for God. Mm-hmm. That's a good shirt. Pick-me girls for God. It's incredible.
Pick-me God.
How has the term been misused? Well, while TikTok's hashtag pick-me-girl trend may have started as an attempt to call out harmful behavior, the trend has devolved into female TikTok users labeling other women as pick-me's for any behavior that might attract male attention. I think this is pretty similar. I mean, this happens with any word on the internet. It's very similar, not the same, but it's similar to like the Karen thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is a white woman who puts black people in danger for calling the cops on things that don't matter. And then it'll be like a woman, sometimes not a white woman, like in a Taco Bell being like, sorry, like I was supposed to have like Beyond Meat on mine and it wasn't. And it's like viral and everyone's being like, this Karen.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is not helpful in any capacity.
Yeah, it's like there was this article that came out about like how people are using psychology terms incorrectly, like gaslighting, in a way to like get out of certain situations. And I was like, yeah, that was bound to happen. What do they tell you? Most times when narcissists go to therapy, it's not to get better, it's to be better at manipulating people.
Yeah.
And so I was like, of course they've already been saying that if you teach someone who's not interested in getting better the correct terms, they're going to misuse those terms. And now you're blindsided by someone who's trying to manipulate you and they're actually gaslighting you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've literally seen videos of like a black woman I can't remember exactly what was happening, and I won't give too many details, but like a black woman was in a restaurant being like, you guys were being racist to me.
Yeah.
And was like complaining. And then the comments were like, she's a Karen. I was like, this is so twisted and backwards. But I think, it's the same thing where it's like the pick-me girl trend is then all of a sudden only being used by like pick-me girls being like, look at this girl who plays soccer.
Yeah.
Pick-me girl. So frustrating.
I think there are pick-me girls, but a lot of times you just want to shit on women, so you call them a pick-me girl or quirky or hey, sweetie, or, like those sort of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is misused. And if a woman enjoys traditionally masculine things, she's a lesbian. No. But
that is true, and we believe that on this podcast.
But is welcoming and open to traditionally feminine things, they're not a pick-me. Ironically, the ones calling out pick-me behavior have perhaps transformed into the pick-me's themselves. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yes, as it happens. And some have been criticized for labeling women as pick-me's. From associate editor Logan Mahan at Inside Hook, pick-meism has become a never-ending cycle of toxic behavior that ultimately leads to women putting other women down. Yeah, it's how a term is originally used for something to mean something, and then it just gets manipulated. Like, people keep this, like, twink is like a... Like, okay, twink is a term for, like, gay men.
Yeah.
But the way that a lot of straight women are saying it now, like calling a gay man a twink, I'm like, this is now encroaching on slur territory. But yes, so instead of criticizing women for liking or not liking traditionally masculine things, we should shift our focus to ways in which men, consciously or not, encourage and validate pick-me behavior. Yeah, I mean, men are, at the end of it, it's ultimately victim blaming, is that, like, pick-me's do hurt other women, but that they're being hurt by men. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, but it's like an impossible, that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's so many things like that. And like within every group of people who are not straight white men, where it is like, there are certain people in those groups that are like the most mean to, I mean, it's like internalized homophobia, internalized racism, like all of that happens. And it's like, though that person is annoying and though that person is being bad, they are also like still a victim in it. And I guess it's just not black and white. It's like they're a victim. They also are being an asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
But I would say it would be weird if I got called misogynistic or internalized misogyny for calling out a pick-me girl, because pick-me girl is just labeling a girl who's a victim of misogyny. And I'd be like, but she is also using misogyny. I know that she systemically cannot oppress me, but it is contributing to this larger issue. So it's
totally
on both parts. There is some like, if two women are fighting, there's going to be some sort of internalized misogyny, whatever. I mean, the thing is I love a good bitch. Oh my God. I love a woman who is unapologetically themselves in like any sort of way. And if they're a bitch, I don't mind it as long as the motivation behind their bitchiness is not jealousy or male validation.
Yeah.
Like there was this girl, whenever I think about like a woman I look up to in college, there was this accounting class and we had a group project and there was this girl who was just like ruthless, but she wanted a good grade and she was type A anal and like, I mean, she'd ride your ass, but like it was because we were in the group with two other guys who were like lazy and they just didn't like her, but she didn't care. And and she was even a bitch to me and I was like, I am so attracted to you. Like, I love a woman who's just so driven. And if it means that she comes off as a bitch, like, as long as it's not because men, I'm like, just to go for it.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think you do see that. Sorry, I keep bringing it back to comedy, but I really do feel like a pick-me girl in comedy is the same conversation because it's such it's such a career where it actually has been said in recent years, like, women shouldn't be comedians. Like, that is anytime I post any video, there's at least 50 comments saying women aren't funny. Yeah. Women shouldn't do comedy. This is why women suck. And when you put that in, that is going to be like a breeding ground for pick-me girls, you know? The concept of pick-me girls originally came from a movie/TV show trope. The not like other girls trope was particularly present in early 2000s rom-coms where female protagonists would often scoff at their more girly or boy-obsessed adversaries. In these stories, the love interest typically begins to fall for her because of her obliviousness to her femininity, which makes her different and thus more attractive. Examples: She's the Man, A Cinderella Story, The Princess Diaries. I don't know if the princess, as a Princess Diaries super fan. I don't know if she's a pick-me girl, but I do understand that. But it is true. I guess they were like, she's so ugly when she was not ugly. Yeah. And then really the only true shift is that she's pretty now. Yeah. All right. The whole beginning of this podcast, I've been thinking, I was like, was I a pick-me girl as a child? Which I don't know if you can be a pick-me girl as a child, but I think it's so hard because I was never interested in male validation. Truly. Like, I was so oblivious to male validation. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I could like redo high school, which is an insane want because I don't actually want to do it and it was terrible for me. But something I loved about my high school career is that I did not care what any man thought. So the whole like dating world was just like removed from my life and I just focused 100% on improv. Yeah. Which I think is such a rare thing to get to do, to like be in high school and actually not care what any men think of you. Sometimes though I wish I could go back and be like, I got big tits and a big ass and I'm cool. I should like flirt with you could be cool and not have big tits and a big ass, but I was so insecure in high school, you know what I mean? I was so like, oh, I'm ugly and I'm stupid. And I'm like, I wish I could go back and be like, you're hot. You could get like a bunch of these guys. And honestly, there's a couple times, if any of the guys from my high school are listening, they're probably like, this is not true. But I'm like, sometimes I look back, I'm like, I think that guy had a crush on me. And I was just like so not thinking about men that I was like fully just oblivious to that option. Yeah. But in elementary school, I was very much what they called a tomboy. You know, I like never wore pink. I did not wear dresses. I hung out with girls, but I also hung out with guys. But I was very like, I don't care what guys think about me. And I would say that a lot because I was gay, but I didn't know that. But I just was very much like, my thing is that I don't care about guys. And I do think I thought a guy's going to be attracted to that.
Yeah.
Like, I think deep down I was like, that's cool that I don't care. And I would see girls who like would flirt with guys. I'd be like, that's embarrassing. And my cousin was very girly and very boy obsessed. And I think I was pretty mean to her sometimes about that. Like, I would make fun of her and in front of guys, be like, oh, you put on a bunch of mascara to look cool for this guy. Like, I was an asshole.
Yeah.
We were like 4th grade. But I would be really mean to her. And I'm like, in my head, she was the pick-me girl, but ultimately I was the pick-me girl in that situation.
Yeah.
Or we were both pick-me girls in that situation.
I mean, it could be like a little bit of both. I definitely, it sounds like a little bit of both. But yes, I mean, I didn't care what guys thought of me. I mean, I just wanted to be conventionally hot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still like falling into the male gaze. But like, I was like very feminine, like growing up. I remember I was on the swim team in 6th grade for 1 semester because I had to do the events, but I would wear makeup. And so like I didn't dive into the water. I would literally climb into the water with my head out of the water. But no, okay, this is where I should have known that I was gay.
I wish you had a video of that, because then we could put it to that TikTok sound that's like, what's it? It's like, Alexis always knew who she was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Do you know how incredibly hard it is to do a butterfly without putting your head in the water? No, but oh my gosh. No, I used to think that I was the chillest girl ever.
Yeah.
Because I literally knew boyfriends would cheat on me and I did not care.
Totally.
That it wasn't that I was chill, it's that I did not care about them.
Or maybe yourself. Because you were gay.
Yeah.
But I was like, also maybe you were just like, this is what I deserve.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
This is perfect. Yeah, no, but I've heard things like I will see girls, and not in a way, because I think there can be a totally healthy conversation as a couple that's like, we both are kind of wanting some more like sex. You can have an open relationship and that can be healthy in a certain way. But there are girls who are, I've seen on TikTok be like, well, my boyfriend like makes out with girls at bars and like, I don't care. And you can tell she's being, and the comments are men being like, how do I get a girl like you? And I'm like, what, a girl who has like no self-worth? That is just like, nothing in my relationship is up to me. And I just have to go by the seat of that's not the right term. Go by the seat of his pants.
Fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah. But it's his pants. You're like attached to his pants and you're just flying.
Yeah.
This feels like an impossible conversation doing a topic on pick-me girls, because it does feel like you can't talk about pick-me girl. Like, I'm like, the more we dissect pick-me girls, the more we become pick-me girls. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we're not doing it for like male validation.
That's exactly right. That's true. We have like probably, I would assume, no male listeners.
I mean, we have a couple. I mean, there's an odd 3 or 4, just chilling.
And we love you guys.
I know there's a couple.
We do this for you.
Yeah,
we only do this for you.
There's bisexual women who put this on in the car and their boyfriend happens to be there.
Totally.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
But so there's the examples in movies of like pick-me girls. I wouldn't, okay. And so then it moved to the internet with a new name. The term pick me first started in 2016 on Black Twitter using the hashtag tweet like a pick me. This hashtag was used to mock women who fall under the guys girl category, especially those who consider themselves to be wifey material. Various subreddits are dedicated to making fun of nlogs and pick me's. The Not Like Other Girls was created in 2014 and now has 281,000 members. And then Not Like the Other Girls was created in 2017 and has 834,000 members. So, I feel like a pick-me does exist, but I feel like people use pick-me just to shit on women.
I feel like it's like shifted now. Yeah. So I was thinking of people on the internet maybe I consider a pick-me. And I think, because you'd said wifey material when you're reading this. And I was like, I think that is now... I think that used to be the opposite of what a pick-me girl was. Like a pick-me girl used to be, from what the research
yes,
shows,
the research,
that it is like a pick-me girl was someone who is like, I'm not wifey material. I'm my own woman. I don't care what guys think, and I have my I look like I'm dressed like a boy, and I'm smart, and that makes me a pick-me girl somehow. Whereas now I think it has switched into this like. You see a lot of people on the internet, a lot of women on the internet who are like, I'm a wife and I should stay at home because I can add nothing to the world. And they will say these things on a voiceover of them cleaning their house. And they're like, I wish I lived in a time where I value that I can clean and that's what I give to the home and raise our children. All valuable things. But that's like what they're saying. And they'll say, oh my God, I won't say which podcast, but I never comment on stuff
Yeah.
being like, come on, you guys. But there was a podcast of this girl talking to her husband, and she's like, it's a very big podcast, talking about how like she's so scared to raise her son in a world where people are so mean to men and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that is now kind of the new pick me girl. Like the ultimate, like,
boy
I'm
moms.
there for you.
Boy mom.
It's like a boy mom because it's their pick me to like their son.
Yeah.
Where it is just, and their husband, where it's like now the crazy thing to do is like be submissive to your husband.
Yeah.
And like, and now, and so I don't know. I think it's just like switched a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. Meanings do get perverted, and
like people say that now if High School Musical came out, I've heard people say that like people would be rooting for Sharpay Evans.
oh yeah, no,
I'm like, yes.
I
of
was
course.
rooting for Sharpay the entire time. Both her and her brother
100%.
actually were talented and cared about the musical.
And had been in the drama department for so long. Like because I had it happen every fucking year. Every year. I worked so hard at my high school theater. I couldn't sing, so that's fine. I
Yeah.
know I wasn't going to get cast in a musical, but I was terrible at singing. But I would work so hard. I did all of this stuff. I was the drama department president.
Yeah.
And every year, some football player would come in and be the lead of our musical who
Yeah.
had never done anything before. And that's exactly what High School Musical is about. And
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. He needs to be the star of the play and he needs to be a star of the basketball team.
Exactly. Like, I think if you think about any early 2000s movie, everyone that, like, all the people that were like, oh, they're not basic, like, they're actually the villains. If you think about Mean Girls, Janice Ian was like this huge, I'm the victim. She said I was a lesbian.
I was like outing her.
Janice-
She's being like,
Janice,
oh, wait, no, that's
you
the other
are-
way around.
Yeah. Janice, you are literally actively manipulating someone. Like, you're a horrible person. If you think about The Devil Wears Prada, Andy's friends are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Like, and we were supposed to root for them. Like, oh, Andy's consumed by her job, and her friends who don't care about their jobs, those are cool people. No, they were so unsupportive.
Yeah.
If you think about literally like any early 2000s, it's just because, you know, you're taught to believe that the girly girl is the bad guy. And then if you just like step back for a second, you're like, wait a minute.
That's why the ultimate feminist movie is Legally Blonde, my favorite movie of all time.
She never puts down any women.
She loves all the women, and she never makes fun of them for being into girly things.
Mm-hmm.
She's girly. I think it's kind of a character arc from pick-me girl to non-pick-me girl because
Yeah.
she's like, well, I got to go do all this stuff for my boyfriend. And then she's like, wait a minute. But the whole movie, she's a girl's girl. The
Yeah.
whole movie, she loves girls. She's so pro-women.
Yeah, as a lesbian, I do have to. I cannot, in good faith, ship. Who's the main character of Legally Blonde?
Oh, and not the girl.
No, you're not. Gonna,
Elle Woods.
Yeah, Elle. I cannot ship Elle and Vivian. After that scene with like Vivian told that lesbian that Elle called her the D slur. Casually, I was like, everyone at the, on TikTok is like shipping like Vivian and Elle. I was like, no, Vivian literally called a lesbian a slur to get back at Elle. I was like, absolutely
But
not.
do you think Vivian, I haven't seen it in a couple years. Do you think Vivian is closeted?
It does. I mean, even
I
if
guess it
she
doesn't
is-
matter. But do
yeah.
you think there's like more where she's like, well, I'm in the closet, so now I'm.
Well, I think originally they were supposed to be lovers, but then test audiences couldn't handle some light scissoring.
I just heard this. I just heard that Haley Kiyoko in Wizards of Waverly Place. Did you watch Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yeah.
She was supposed to be dating Selena Gomez, and they said no.
Yeah.
That is deeply devastating. You know how much that would have changed my life?
I know.
Probably for the worse.
But it's so crazy how I feel like that time in Disney is the time they would have done it. Because I remember a That's So Raven episode where they talk about cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
And I was like, they would not tackle that on Disney now.
Well, that's a Raven. Well, but I think like gay stuff.
Yeah.
It to them is like a whole new level because that's what Raven talked about so much stuff. They do that, they do eating disorders, they do like all of that stuff. But talking about being gay was just like completely, even until like 2016 maybe, which is when like A Good Luck Charlie, which was a show I was too old to really watch, but like they had an episode on their last season. I think it might have been the last episode where they were like, we're going to put a gay couple on because what do we have to lose? And then, like the child on that show who was like 5 was getting like death threats from adult people being like, I'm gonna come to your house and kill you because you had a gay couple on this show that you're on. It was insane. So I think like being gay is something that still it's like, can we talk about it? Can we not talk about it?
Yeah.
Which feels crazy living where we live, but like I think, yeah, like Disney is still being like, can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's changing, but I haven't watched Disney in so long. But
Yeah.
maybe now we go back and watch and every character is like gay. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine that. Sorry.
Yeah, the phrase has experienced a renaissance among Gen Z in 2021 with the hashtag #PickMeGirl garnering 2.5 billion views on TikTok. An infamous 2005 monologue by Grey's Anatomy Meredith Grey inspired a satirical trend on the app. A Pick Me Girl is arguably just a rebranding of the not like other girls trope. And it seemed to be more prevalent and acceptable in the 2000s. I know, with Pink's Stupid Girls. I used to love that song, but then I was like, oh, she's just making fun of, like, stupid girls.
And as a stupid girl, I'm not a fan.
Fuck you, Pink. No.
From two stupid girls. Just kidding. That is Meredith Grey is also definitely I would say pick me girl. But I think they all shift. Like I think she's not maybe anymore. I haven't watched it in so long either. But she does.
I can't.
All she thinks about at her job is Derek, and Derek is the guy she's in love with. But it was also at that time where it's like every lead in a movie was a pick me girl.
Yeah.
Because it's like even I don't know if you see have you seen New Girl?
Yes.
I feel like New Girl was like a new rebirth of pick me girls because I don't even know if Jessica Day in that show is a pick me girl, but it just was like this. It gave this like image to pick me girls of like the thought of living with 4 men is like so exciting to them.
Yeah.
And you'll see all the time being like on TikTok, people are like, I basically live New Girl. And it's a girl who lives with like 4 guys.
Yeah.
And she's like, but it's not like New Girl because all they do, the guys on New Girl are so, they aren't traditional guy. Like Schmidt
this is not, they're not real.
Yeah. Like Schmidt is so into fashion.
Yeah.
And Winston is obsessed with cats. Not that I don't really know. He's just kind of season 3. Winston just kind of becomes unwell. I don't really know what his character is. And then Nick is like just like kind of a dude. I don't know. But none of them are like bros. None of them are bro-y at all. And so then you'll see these girls who live with like 3 frat guys who just like do keggers every day and like don't speak to her. And she's like, I'm Jessica Day.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah. I think that show is fan fiction for women. I also think there's 2 tropes going on. She's not a pick me girl. She's a manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
But I do feel bad for that Zooey Deschanel because
too.
she has been pigeonholed. I mean, 500 Days of Summer. This is actually like my internalized misogyny. When I first saw 500 Days of Summer, I was like, that's so fucking mean that she did it. He was such a nice guy. And then I was like, now just having a fully developed brain, I was like, she was clear from the start. I don't want to be in a relationship. And this guy projected all these things onto her. And so she was just like made to be the bad guy. Like, no, she set boundaries.
Oh my God, that's like Emily on Friends.
Yeah.
Have you seen all of Friends?
Absolutely not. No, you talk about Grey's Anatomy. I've never seen Grey's Anatomy or Friends, but that's not because I'm like a pick-me girl. I'm saying Grey's Anatomy, everyone, when they tell me about it, it's like 20 seasons long.
I was forced to watch Grey's Anatomy. My best friend, Nicole, we lived together during COVID, during quarantine, and she I swear against my will, made me watch all of Grey's Anatomy. And I, the whole time was like, please make it end. I can't. Now I can get into it because it's just so crazy and I've already seen it. Sorry, I have to burp.
Do it.
Thank you. Okay, it's done.
Okay.
I can do it inside my body. But Emily on Friends is this girl who comes in season 5. She's British. Her and Ross date each other. Mm-hmm. And he quickly proposes because he's literally crazy. Mm-hmm. And I know he's a character. When people are like, Ross is a narcissist, I'm like, Ross is not a real person. Yeah. He's like he's a sitcom character, so I don't think I need to dissect his mental health. But he is like insane. He proposes to like everyone on the show. He's like 4 marriages. It's insane. He proposes to Emily, and then she finds out that he used to date Rachel, who's like always there, and they have a huge history. And so she's obviously a little uncomfortable where she's like, I know that they had this huge past. They dated for years. They spend every day together. Yeah. Whatever. Then they get married. She's like, you can invite Rachel to your wedding. I don't really want you to, but you can. Yeah. Rachel decides not to go. Rachel shows up to the wedding in London, and at the altars, when he's supposed to say, like, I thee wed Emily, he says Rachel's name.
Oh my God.
So then Emily still gets married to him, but obviously is so like fucking pissed and is like, wait, what is happening? And he's like, well, okay, I know you're not going to talk to me, but if you still want this, like, meet me at the airport tomorrow for us to go on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
When Emily gets there, I swear this is almost over. When Emily arrives, Rachel is getting on the plane with Ross. And so she's like, tells him basically she hasn't talked to him for months and calls him and is like, I will move to New York and I will work on our marriage, but you can't talk to Rachel anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can't see her. It's too insane.
Yeah.
It makes me so uncomfortable. And when the show came out, people villainized Emily so much, including me. And we're like, she's so crazy. Like, Rachel and Ross are friends. And like, she's trying to control him and like all of this stuff. And watching it back as an adult, I'm like, he's such an asshole.
Yeah.
If I was her friend, I would be like, divorce him and never speak to him again. He sucks ass. But everyone, when that show came out, like, she was not on it for very long because I think people were like, they hated her so much. And we're like, she's the worst. She's a pick-me girl or whatever. And it is like insane, like, watching it back. So I think there's so many things like that where someone's like a villain and then you watch it back later and you're like, I love them.
Yeah. I also, oh my gosh, circling back to the whole like new girl thing, I think most people want to be Jess in a situation, but what they end up being is Dee from It's Always Sunny. You know, you're like, oh, I live with 3 guys and they love me. Meanwhile, it's, you know, a sociopath, a guy who's a bird lawyer, and another guy who's a closeted homosexual, super Christian.
100%.
Yeah, they're like, I'm Jess from New Girl. I was like, you are Dee from It's Always Sunny. We are going to quickly skim through some pick-me girls. We've just been chatting. It's Friday, and we've just been chatting.
We've been chit-chatting.
But there are some in real life pick-me girls. Like,
so maybe we'll go through and you say yes or no.
Kendall Jenner, from what I've watched on the Kardashians, I would say yes.
Yes, I would say
she's
for sure.
Not into makeup. She's a tomboy when she was younger. Wasn't interested. I don't know. She makes fun of other girls. Yeah. I'm not saying from appearances. I'm saying from listening to her talk. It's just like she's not like other girls. I'm not going to shit talk Kendall Jenner. I've already done it.
Pink, I think. I do not think is a pick-me girl.
I don't think Pink is a pick-me girl. I think that song had overtones of pick-me girl in it.
But just like when it came out, you said you loved it. I think she was living in that time too, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And so maybe she's a pick-me girl then, but I don't necessarily get that vibe now. Maybe if I knew her in real life, I would be like, boy, is she a pick-me girl? But I don't really get that vibe.
You know how people feel about Natasha Lyonne? Like, every time you remind a lesbian that Natasha Lyonne is straight, it like kills them. Anytime someone reminds me that Pink is straight, I'm like, my gay awakening was the girl from Stick It and also Pink, because I was like, there is something about Pink. Do you want to know how Pink got her nickname? How? I was watching an True Hollywood story back in like 2008, and how Pink got her name is she was talking to someone and she was like, my pussy is pink. And they were like, let's see. And they were like, it is pink. And so Pink's nickname stuck because her pussy is pink.
That is insane.
I know. I remember that because I was in love with her and I was like, Pink's pussy is pink. Sorry.
Man, use your bumper sticker on your car.
Ask me about Pink's nickname. Yes.
The Chicks, all of the members of the band The Chicks, they all seem so gay. Yeah. Maybe they are pick-me's because all their songs about how much they hate men. Yeah. But it's in a way that's like, it feels really genuine where they're like, yeah, I actually would murder all of these men I'm singing about and have tried. Yeah. And they all have these like short haircuts and they're so like hot. Yeah. And they give lesbian. And I saw them live and I was like, come on. Oh my God. And the lead singer is someone who I have always been like, they're lesbian, like would share that as if it was information that was true because I just assumed, which is insane because all of her music is about breaking up with men. Yeah. But it's the same with Natasha Lyonne. I had that for years where I was like in love with Natasha Lyonne. But I think I'm not going to get into that. I was going to start talking about Natasha Lyonne being gay, but we don't even have time.
No, to go
into my fantasies.
The Dixie Chicks and Sinead O'Connor were banned in our house. Sinead for the Pope thing, and the Dixie Chicks for the George W. Bush comment.
Oh no!
I literally like had to turn the TV and like create like a little fortress if I wanted to watch anything with them.
They are so iconic because it is like, I mean, they were one. album to just like take me back to my childhood. And I think so many people who lived in the South or didn't live in the South, that's like when I lived in North Carolina, that's just like the South to me, is like the dick is the chicks, and it's just like incredible. And so when that happened, I think when they like were like, we're liberal.
Yeah.
That was just like one of the most insane things that's ever happened, I feel like.
Oh, that's what I love about country music. So people assume that country music, since it's from the South, originally, okay, so what revolutionized, like changed country music was 9/11. In that country music after that started to become like very like, this is America, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it
but
wasn't
before
that.
then, it was for the working class. It was like progressive sort of things. Like, and I mean, if you even think about what some of the best hits from like country music, like especially from women, it's about killing men.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not just hating them. It's like actually
setting them on fire.
Here's the plan to murder them, and I'm gonna follow through with it.
Oh my gosh, Gunpowder and Lead, love that song. Anything by Carrie Underwood. I think if you get out of a breakup, skip the singer-songwriter bullshit and go straight for country.
Carrie Underwood has gotten me through a lot.
Oh, Carrie Underwood, Blown Away and Wasted. When I was getting sober, I just alternated those two songs because I was like, I don't want to live my life jaded, wasted, wake up one day to find that I let all these years go by.
Oh.
That song, and then I would switch to Shatter Every Window Till It's All Blown Away, thinking about my childhood, and I would alternate, and Carrie Underwood got me sober.
Man.
There we go.
That's incredible.
Pick Me Girls and Misogyny. We can just cut a lot of this out.
Taylor Swift, what do you think?
Yes. Taylor Swift does not seem like a pick-me. I think that she is... Oh, her character in the You Belong With Me music video. Yes, it was. You know, she's in the band. I'm in the band, in the bleachers, you know, that sort of thing. But I don't think Taylor is a pick-me girl. I think...
The way she dresses in that music video is insane. She's like doing like a Halloween costume of a nerd.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
This is, okay, so Taylor Swift as the nerd in that music video. I love Taylor Swift. Shut up. But like, Taylor Swift.
Isn't it disturbing that I feel afraid to talk about Taylor Swift? Like, I'm shaking.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
scared.
I do like Taylor, but like the thing is with that music video particularly, it reminds me of the early 2000s where this is a neurodivergent thing where sometimes I would watch a movie or a TV show where supposedly the weird girl is so hot and it didn't agree with what I'd been taught. And so I like Taylor Swift. She's incredibly gorgeous. So her being the nerd, even if she's the most awkward person in the world, she would not have been a loser.
No, that's like every movie though.
Yeah.
Like literally every single movie, there's a girl who's like, I have a bad home life and I like play the cello, but she like is Jenna Ortega or something. And it's like, this would never happen. This would absolutely never happen because if you are hot enough in a traditional way, you will transcend there were girls like that in my high school. They were in band and they were in the drama department and they did improv and they were homecoming queen.
Yeah.
They were so popular because they were so hot.
So pick me girls and misogyny. So the male gaze is connected to the pick me girl. The male gaze is a lens on the world that prioritizes centers and makes ubiquitous a rigid...
Prioritizes senators?
Prioritizes centers.
Oh, centers, sorry.
And makes ubiquitous a rigid and stereotype perspective that men's pleasures and interests are paramount, often at the expense of the needs, wants, or even humanity of others, says sex therapist Shadeen Francis. Pick-me girls either consciously or subconsciously adapt their personalities to appeal to the male gaze. A pick-me girl isn't just someone with traditionally masculine likes and dislikes. She's someone whose intentions are to center men in the decision-making process. But the hard thing about the male gaze and the pick-me girl is that even you cannot escape it. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people think, like, you know, I'm dressed in baggy clothes. Even pretending like you're not affected by the male gaze is part of the male gaze. And the female gaze does exist, but it doesn't exist in, it has no systemic sort of bearing, you know? But so it's if we want to get into like all the different types of feminism, we are going to be here for hours. But there is internalized misogyny plays a role in the pick me girls. Internalized misogyny is when women subconsciously project sexist ideas onto other women and themselves.
Women can project internalized misogyny while being aware of the male gaze, and one way this plays out today is by picking apart other women. Internalized misogyny can also look like labeling other women as pick me girls and choosing to mock them on social media instead of recognizing the larger social order impacting their behavior, the patriarchy. Yeah, it's so bizarre because like on social media you see all the time. There's like no way to win as a person who wears makeup or doesn't wear makeup, for example. It's like anytime you see a woman putting on a bunch of makeup, it is like the comments are just men being like, this is why I take my girls swimming on a first date. And being like, God, you're so unconfident. Why do you have to wear all this makeup? And then someone will be like, I don't wear makeup. And they're like, why do you hold any self-respect for yourself? Like there's really no winning. So yeah, there's just no winning in that way.
Yeah, the line, in some ways, by pointing the fingers at pick-me girls, women are also upholding the same oppressive system. This is where I would agree somewhat. It depends on your motivation behind calling out a pick-me girl. However, pick-me girls exist to uphold an oppressive system. And calling out someone, they don't benefit from the oppressive system at all, but they are still backing it up. So they are an ally to an oppressive system. They don't benefit from it, but like calling them out doesn't mean it's not the same, you know, like
in the early 2000s, it was like women who are independent and don't like men and don't put a lot of time into their looks are pick-me girls.
Or lesbians.
Or lesbians are pick-me girls. And I totally understand like where that is coming from, and like if they're shitting on women who like do wear makeup and do like feminine things, like that sucks, and I guess that's a pick-me girl. But now it feels more like, no, I'm making fun of pick-me girls because they're literally saying things like women shouldn't work. And obviously that's a small sector of them, but not as small as you would think. It's like women who are truly being like this podcast, spreading information to a huge audience, being like, I'm scared for my white son to grow up in a world that hates men.
Yeah.
And spreading this to such a huge like audience of a lot of young people, that moves past just like, that's annoying. She wants male attention. It's like she's doing things that are bad.
Yeah.
If she was a man, I'd be shitting on her too. Like it almost becomes less about being a pick-me girl. I think we've slowly started to move in, most people that at least I surround myself with, of like, no matter how you dress, no matter who you are, if you're a woman, non-binary person, honestly, if you're anyone, we support you.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be racist, homophobic, sexist, then no.
Yeah.
And I think now a lot of pick-me girls are just moving into like the sexist direction, where it's just being like, I just want to stay at home and have no job, and neither should you. And you should all have to be submissive to your husbands.
But yeah, there are some. It is, if you are using pick-me as a way to attack women in a way that feels justified to you, you know, you're on your high horse and you're like, oh, at the end of the day, pick-me girls are also victims to the system. They are doing something wrong, but they are also like, this is going to come back on them. They are going to be shit on by guys, and it really does suck. But I mean, my thing at the end of the day is like, I know that you're a pick-me girl, and you're probably going to take it. I can't change you, but it's going to take a couple years for you to come around, and then I would welcome you into the community with open arms. You're not gay or anything, but I mean, like, just like, hey, welcome aboard. You know, I noticed that you had to trial and error for yourself.
Yeah. Well, because everything is, it's such like a time and time again, the system of like people who are oppressed being made to think that they have power in a scenario. And it's like everything in history like has had that happen. Yeah. And it's even how like you'll see people in like the deep South who like are like have no money, need help, like need all these things. And they're, you know, voting for Trump and being like, I don't want my tax dollars paying for this. And it's like, what planet are you living on? Like, you're not paying taxes. What are you doing? And it's like, even though I can be like, oh God, they're the worst because they're voted for Trump or they're whatever. It's like they're also a victim to this whole system. Like that sucks. They've been like taught that they're being manipulated by a party to vote for them. Yeah. So they feel any type of power. And that is just like, that sucks for them. I feel for them, and I hope they really think through what would be actually beneficial for them, you know?
Yeah. It's like, the thing it reminds me of is whenever there's like people in the gay community who make fun of gays who wear like a lot of rainbow or super flamboyant, and they're like, you're the people who make us look bad in front of straight people. It's like, no, dude. It doesn't matter if you
look. It's not their job to look good in front of straight people.
they will hate all of us. You cannot. The more you try to distance yourself from people, like it doesn't matter. Like they hate all of us, whether you're wearing a rainbow or you're wearing khaki pants. Like if you try to distance yourself, you're just hurting your own community.
Because they're also pick me gays.
Yeah,
I've met gays before who family of Trump supporters. They're Trump supporters. They're like, I'm gay, but I never voice my feelings, and my whole family calls me slurs, and we're all close, but they like me, they love me, but that's okay. You know what I mean? And it's
you are a victim.
Yeah, they like gay people when they're silent and don't speak up for themselves and are shit on, and that sucks and are given no rights. Like, that's the type of gay person they like.
Yep.
And that's called gaslighting and manipulation. Okay?
But speaking of pick me girls, I believe there's a pick me girl in the studio today, right?
She is. And she's fired up because she heard this whole conversation.
After thinking about how she may be a victim in this situation and just the role of misogyny, I do want to pick her brain to see her perspective on things. And we will be right back.
We'll be right back.
And we're back with Amanda Manley, who is a pick-me girl, I believe. I'm not sure if you identify with that label.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Well, tell us about yourself, Amanda.
Yeah. So my name is Amanda Manley, and I have my boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. I go to University of Alabama, and I love my boyfriend so much.
What's his name?
His name's Kyle, and he also goes to University of Alabama. And we've been together 3 years, and he's my whole world, and I just love him so much. So that's something about me.
That's really nice. Is this correct? I heard you were getting bullied online.
Yeah, I've been, and that's why I actually came on. I was like reaching out to other podcasts to see if I could go on places because I need to like clear my name, basically, because people have been coming at me because sorry.
It's okay.
I'm getting emotional because, sorry.
It's okay.
I just, like, love my boyfriend so much. And, like, basically, I don't know if you know this, but in the world we live in, like, a man-hating society. People are, like, against men.
Yes.
And so, like, I one day want to be a mom.
Yes.
And, like, I want to have a son. But, like, I feel like people are going to be so mean to him because he's a man. So I just tried to make my platform, like, fighting for men because, like, every single day I go out with my boyfriend, like, he is literally verbally assaulted by people.
Oh, my gosh.
People are really mean to him.
Every day?
Every day because he's a man.
Are you sure? Is he wearing anything offensive on his shirts?
No, like, he wears, like, a political shirt every day.
That'll do it.
But, like, I don't know why that would be bad. It's, like, pro-Trump. It's not like it's, like, anything bad. It's, like, something everybody, like, agrees with. So I don't really understand. But they're just, like, mean to him. Like, literally are mean to him.
So this everybody, who is treating your boyfriend?
The world, Sarah.
Yeah.
Like, wake up. Like, wake up. Like, the world is treating him bad. Like, basically, like, even the other day, we went to Panda Express, right? And we love Panda Express. We did, at least. And, like, the woman's like, we're out of egg rolls.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, no, you're not. And he said, let me tell you something to the 17-year-old girl. He said, let me tell you something about how food manufacturing works. And she's 17. I'm like, he's offering you wisdom.
Yeah. Like,
he's literally offering you wisdom. And as a woman, it's like, why would you not be begging for wisdom?
Exactly.
And she was like, don't mansplain to me. I'm like, mansplain? What even is that? Like, learning is trying to educate women is mansplaining? Well, that's weird because I don't know if you've ever been to a college class, but at my college, I had a man teaching women's history. Is that mansplaining? No. So I just was really upset by that, and I think it made me just be like, I need to make a change for my boyfriend because it's just, like, not fair that he's treated so badly for something he can't control, which is being a man.
The world is so hard on men.
It really is, though. It really is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to ask, you have a boyfriend, but do you have any female friends?
Yeah, I do. My boyfriend's mom, Melissa, we're friends.
Yeah.
We're friends, but we're also like frenemies because we're like kind of in competition with each other over like she like loves him so much and like had a hard time when I came into his life because she like thinks of him kind of as a boyfriend almost. Oh. And then I think of him obviously as like a dad. So it's been like really hard for us to kind of like coexist together, but she's a friend. But besides that, no, like I don't have any female friends because to be honest, I've had female friends in the past. And sorry.
It's okay.
They've been a lot of drama.
Yeah. Oh,
and
no.
I was like always having drama with them, and they would like say things about me that were not nice and say that like I slept with their boyfriends.
Did you?
Yeah. And like so yeah, I did. And there was just like that type of drama. So like I try to just stay out of it right now. And I'm like friends with a lot of guys. Well, my boyfriend Kyle.
Yes.
His friends I'm friends with.
Okay, yeah. I was going to ask you, what do you do?
Damien and Justin.
Okay. What do you do when you hang out with them?
Well, it's like, you know, they do a lot of things that just like I don't know because I'm a girl. So like they go golfing. So I'm on I'm the caddy. Yeah. So I stay on the golf cart, and I give them their clubs and like, well, they have to come pick them out because I don't know which ones to use, but they come and I hand it to them and I give them water and like refreshments, but you can't talk during golf because you have to be quiet. Yeah. So I don't say a lot. And then we go to parties and like I like in sheds, like they'll play ping pong and stuff and I kind of just like laugh at them. Yeah. And like laugh at things they say. Yeah. And that makes them feel supported. Like anything I can do honestly to make them feel supported because like the world does not make them feel supported, Sarah.
Absolutely not. Backpedaling to golf, do you like get their balls out of the water and stuff?
Yeah. I dive in. Yeah. And I have a wetsuit and I have I have wetsuit and then I have floaties because I don't know how to swim. Oh. So there was a bad situation the first time we went where I almost did drown. Yeah. And so, but I get the balls for them. I've been hit by 17 balls, Sarah.
Oh, my God.
One in the head that resulted in a hospitalization.
Oh, my gosh.
But that's what you get when you're playing with the boys. Sometimes it gets rough. And, like, I don't mind getting muddy.
Do they aim for you?
It's a little game they have. Oh. But it's, like, makes me feel good, like, where like they're all laughing so hard and I stand on the green and then they all are like laughing so hard and we have so much fun and they like try to hit me with it and then they post videos and I think that makes me feel like validated because I know people see me on their stories and know that I'm like friends with the guys and that's like cool.
Yeah, it's nice that all their attention is on you. Yeah
even just for a split second to focus to make sure they can hit me right in the boob, which is what they're always aiming for.
What do the boys say in the shed that makes you laugh?
They say, like, slurs for gay people.
Okay. Sorry.
It's funny, isn't it?
In a way.
They say negative things about homosexuals.
Okay.
And then, like, women or, like, sometimes, like, I'll do something... Like, I'll try to say an opinion, and then they'll kind of, like, call me an idiot or something. But it's, like, it's, like, funny.
Oh, of course.
It's, like, in a funny way.
Yes. Are there any female celebrities you like?
Yeah. I like Meg Ryan, her son. I like him. Does that count?
No, that is a man.
Okay. I like... I like I really like what? Oh my God.
Can I give you a yay or nay list?
Yeah.
Do you like Megan Fox?
No.
Do you like Jessica Biel?
No.
Do you like Salma Hayek?
No.
Rihanna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Rihanna. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. Selena Gomez?
No.
Oh.
I'm a girl's girl, though.
Of course. It sounds like it.
Yeah. I like Tommy Lauren.
Oh, of course.
She's my cousin.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Do you guys share the same political opinions?
What do you think, Sarah?
I didn't want to assume, because when you assume, you make an ass of you and Tommy.
I don't vote, but so I guess not.
Yeah.
But I do, like, if I were to vote, I shouldn't be allowed to vote.
No.
I just didn't always, like, women shouldn't vote. I just did, like, seriously, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were
Because,
born in
like,
the wrong generation.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so what it is, really, because, like, I do feel like on days that like last year when there was voting happening, I was on my period.
Oh, wow.
I should be locked up.
Yeah.
When I'm on my period.
You're on the rag.
I'm right. And it's like me voting, I would have probably voted for like, well, I probably would have voted for Joe Biden on my period.
Yeah, or like drawn a hand turkey on the ballot.
Yeah. Sarah. Wait. That wasn't funny because I don't think women should be comedians. But
I got that from a guy.
Oh, I literally knew it. Like,
I know.
But do you know what I mean? Because it's not even me being sexist. Like, I just know. Like,
No, I know.
Men aren't funny.
I know.
I mean, women. Oh my God, women aren't funny is what I meant to say.
No, yeah, men are hilarious. But I mean, how do you feel about my hair and makeup today?
I don't know. I don't like it.
Why not?
I just think for men, it's like, it's another way in which we make their lives harder. They're having to sift through like realness, being genuine. When I come to hangouts with my guy friends, like I don't wear makeup, I don't wear my hair done, I don't wear clothes.
Yeah.
Not even underwear or bra because they need to see what they're working with.
Exactly. And I imagine the whole take 'em swimming on the first date thing is your mantra, which is kind of crazy because you can't swim.
No, that's why I can't wear makeup.
Yeah.
Because if you swim with me on the first date, I'll drown and I will die.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in my golf uniform,
Exactly.
which is my big floaties. But I really, so I think for you, it's like, I don't really know what's going on under there. It could be Dobby the house elf under there. I don't know. And so you look beautiful right now, but like, I don't know. I think it's kind of like deceiving men.
Yeah.
Which in a way is kind of like deceiving God.
Yeah.
Which in a way is like really bad.
It's like the 11th sin.
Yeah, I don't know.
The 10 Commandments.
What that is, but thank you.
So do you feel like you have some internalized misogyny?
Is that like feminist slang?
In a way. It's like misogyny. It's like sexism, but inside of you.
I don't have that. I feel like I value myself as a woman. And so like my values, what do I bring to the table? Boobs and butt.
Of course.
And like serving men. So it's like, if that's what a woman is, I love that.
Yes.
So I definitely like women, right? Is that the question?
Of course. Yes, you answered it perfectly.
And then men, I like men because like, yeah.
Because dick and balls.
Dick and balls, and then bring money home, and then they're like better than women. So I think that's like hard because that's a lot of responsibility for them. But so, yeah, I think I like both of them. So how would I be sexist if I like both people?
Okay, I get that. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Can I talk directly to my boyfriend?
Of course.
I love you so much, Kyle. And I feel like I'm sorry for where this country has gone. I'm so sorry for where this country's gone. And I just want you to know that I'm fighting the good fight every day to make sure that you're treated equal. Because I will not grow up in a society where my son is treated like shit. Can I curse?
Yes.
Like shit. Because of the way he was born. Unless he's gay. And then he will be
beaten. Of course. That's the way God intended. Well, thank you so much, Amanda, for being on and being so vulnerable. Luckily, when you're not wearing any makeup, so crying would just be like easy cleanup. And Kyle, is that your boyfriend's name?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Kyle, that you're treated like crap. And I hope that if you guys ever have a son, he gets the shit kicked out of him by my daughter. But thank you so much, Amanda, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I hate you.
It's okay.
Man, oh man, what a treat that I assume was.
She was a girl.
She was a girl.
Yeah.
I also need to say that this is a tough position we've been put in because we've had to dissect pick-me girls. So I I worry at the end of this we come off like pick-me girls, but in my day-to-day life, I would never talk this much about pick-me girls.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
we've been forced into this.
I mean, if anything, we both have acknowledged that in the past we have been a pick-me girl, or maybe we do have unconscious tendencies where we see a certain type of girl and we're like, oh, and that's just years and years of conditioning by the patriarchy.
Because it was so hard. It was like every time I said something, I was like, wait, am I now becoming a pick-me girl? Mm-hmm. We're not. We're really cool. And we're not like other girls.
No, we're not.
We're really cool.
I think it's just a matter of like being aware of what you're saying and examining maybe some biases. And so if you find yourself disliking a girl for some sort of reason, or even if she is a pick-me girl, she is also a victim to the system. It's like how I feel when I see someone in active alcoholism. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to help you, but also I can't be near you. You know, that sort of thing. Yes.
Totally.
But I hope you enjoyed this. I'm so sorry if this was so long.
I'm so sorry for the length of this.
But this
has been the BCC Club.
This has been the BCC Club. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Also follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any place you get your podcasts. Please rate us 5 stars, and we will talk to you next week.
Yay. Goodbye.
Bye.